Steve Jobs said, "Focusing is about saying no." It's honestly really easy to get wrapped up in the noise of the stock market. What's moving up and down, how it's moving up and down, who's doing well, who's doing poorly. What I've decided to do is to cancel out the noise and to say no, and to listen to only fundamental truths about companies and why they matter. Hi, I'm Jonathan and I'm an investor in Tesla stock. Now, this isn't financial advice, so please do your own research. All I'm doing is sharing with you what I've learned about this innovative company called Tesla. Of course, how we're going to be doing that is the usual. We're going to jump into the Twitter universe and see what the Tesla community is saying today. All right, so our first tweet comes from Dave Lee. He says, "I'm not sure how people who hold 20 stocks can follow each one closely enough to know when the business prospects of one of their companies have changed." Okay, so guilty as charged. I'm one of those people. I used to be one of those people. I used to have the coolest, newest stock, and whatever was important of the day, I would pick up in my portfolio. What investing into Tesla has taught me is to focus on a few gems of companies that will actually be generational winners rather than trying to spread yourself too thin. Investing in Tesla teaches you discipline and not to worry about the volatility. It teaches you patience because you're not looking at next quarter window, you're looking at 10 years down the road. And then finally, investing in Tesla has actually taught me to invest into fewer companies because investing in Tesla is like investing in a conglomerate of startups. So whether you're looking at energy storage or solar or internet or telecommunications, you're starting to see how Tesla fills all these voids. And besides, every time I want to invest into something, I compare it to Tesla now and I just feel like I should just invest in Tesla. Okay, so our next tweet comes from Tesla the Big Long. He says, "This path gets you to 20 million vehicles in 2025 if Tesla can potentially keep doubling production from 2022 to 2025. So in this tweet, he got a picture from Italy referendum, and with the prorated production levels of Fremont, China, Berlin, and Austin together, you're looking at about 1.25 million output for 2021. Now, on that trajectory, it's still very much a huge percentage increase year over year. And of course, if we stay on track for the next 5 to 10 years, there's no reason why Tesla couldn't make that market share happen." So our next tweet comes from Alex, and he says that Giga Berlin job salaries for the unemployed and without education start at €2,700 per month, which is incredibly high. So previously, Giga Berlin actually had a lot of backlash from the media. The media assumed that Giga Berlin would be paying their employees less than union rates because they opted out of the union. Well, now it seems the joke's on them because Tesla had opted out of the union in order to be able to pay their workers much higher. So once again, Tesla is setting the bar very high. Our next tweet comes from James Stevenson. He says, 2 years ago today, no Wall Street analyst listed by tip ranks had Tesla price target over $500. Now that's before the 5-to-1 split. That's crazy to me. And still to compare against these prices, it's like they haven't learned anything or they're corrupt. I don't know which one comes first, but something's going on. Now James follows up and says that 24 months later, long investors are 5x up and those same Wall Street analysts are still within the same price targets. To me, that says a lot, right? It says to me that I don't need to worry about what the market is doing today or tomorrow or even next quarter. It seems that in 5 to 10 years or even 24 months in that case, that we're going to do a whole lot better than any Wall Street analyst if we buy and hold. Again, do your own research. All right, in our next tweet, the Teslarati blog says that the Ford Mustang Mach-E first EPA estimates fall short of range expectations. Now, I'm not particularly surprised. A lot of these EP estimates are often falling short, but what it does tell me is that Ford isn't quite there with their production. Now, Ford originally touted that their Mach-E would go 270 miles. They've tested at 250, but this isn't real-world driving. I suspect that with real-world driving, the range could fall even shorter. Now, I'm not trying to bash Ford, just saying the facts, right? If Ford sells an electric vehicle and it sells well, then it's still good for the environment. But this still shows me that Ford isn't quite there yet with promises of EVs and their production level. I mean, ultimately, it's not a bad thing. Even if Ford sells these EVs and they sell well, it's still good for the environment. But this is still pre-production and there hasn't been anything concrete on the road yet and we don't know if they can scale. Now, federal tax credit aside, the price of a Mach-E ranges from $45,000 to $65,000. Now, Model Y ranges from $49,000 to $60,000. I think I would take the Model Y in my own case. And our final tweet today comes from Tesla Unofficial, saying that the rumor going around is that the 2021 long-range Model 3 has 82 kilowatt-hour battery pack. Now, the source that they've cited, Electric.co, has since confirmed that Panasonic announced an extra $100 million investment in Gigafactory, Nevada. And with this announcement, Panasonic says that it'll increase the energy density produced by them by 5% and a total output of 10%. Now, in terms of real-world applications, we don't exactly know if it'll only translate to range yet or also charging. I think it'll probably affect both, but we'll have to wait a few weeks to see. Okay, so that's it for today's short and sweet wrap-up. If you're new to the channel, please consider liking, subscribing, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!